Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to go over my Guncannon build this month, and this is for a contest that Chris Miniature Ride on Twitter. I'll try to put a link to his Twitter page and his YouTube page as well. He does some really awesome work. But he's put on a little contest this month, and these have to be done by the end of the month, by midnight. And this is my kit that I chose to work on, which is the Guncannon First Type Iron Cavalry Squadron. Now I'm just going to kind of go over and show a little bit of what I've done to it. I try to keep things as minimal as I could. Try to keep from getting myself carried away here. We wanted to keep everything simple and clean on this build. So we'll get into this and I'll show you all little things I have going on and what I plan to do with this guy. Now the first thing I did on this guy was, of course, simply just remove any seam lines that was on this. Now for the most part, this kit was designed pretty well. No seam lines really on it. I mean, the front of the legs here, the thighs, also on the back, they're all made to look as panel lines, so they're not as pronounced as they look right there because I haven't quite put it all the way together because I have to take it all apart to paint it when I get done with this. And then, but the seam lines, there was some pretty nasty ones across the shoulders here. Had to remove them. Here, I'll use this to kind of point around with. Of course, got rid of those. There were some on the hip, same basis as the shoulders, just one right down the center on that. Then of course the cannon here, there's one that of course went all the way around that, which had a debate on that one because gluing that together and get rid of that seam line meant all the mechanics down here for it are stuck in place now, which I think I'll simply be able to mask that off and tape it, paint it off pretty easy. But yeah, after the seam lines that were removed, I did a little scribing. I didn't want to do much. Like I said, want to keep it fairly simple. I did a little design here on the shield, nothing much, like I said, and a little bit across the chest here. And then also, for the fun of it, I decided to drill some vent holes. So I did a matching pattern here across the chest, and then I also did the same here on the back of the legs on each side. I used a template for these from MadWorks, because there's no way I could have had all these measured out the same. It would have been all screwed up if I hadn't done that. Oh, and then there was a seam line that ran across the back here with these two halves on this lower part of the torso connected. And then I also did, if you can see here in the back of the inside of the leg, there was no panel lining here, and that part right there was not on here as well. And I want to kind of balance it because there's not much of anything on the inside of the leg. I didn't bother with anything up here, didn't see any need to really, but I wanted to match a little bit of the outside leg here because this panel line was originally in the mold, and then of course this part sticking out here is originally part of the mold. So I just add this little bit of detail, use some claw plate just to kind of give it a little something extra. Done both legs, of course, as you can see. And then also here on the upper leg here on the thigh, I didn't put any panel lines, but I used a little bit more claw plate. Look, I can't even talk. Which is also, for some people that may not know, is also polystyrene plastic sheets. You can give them different thicknesses, so you can do different things with them, sand them down however you need, and all that. Worked pretty well. This is my first time using it, and I rather enjoyed it. Works out pretty nicely. But it's kind of made a little matching piece to fit with the bottom of the thigh here, up here on the top. I've done that on both sides as well, of course. And then for a little bit more panel lining I've done is across here, just to kind of give a little cuff to the bottom of his leg here across the front. And then also this right here across the knee here, the knee armor. There was no panel line on that, which kind of thought was a little strange because if you notice here on the elbow, it has that detail already in the plastic molded in with it. So I figured, kind of balance it out, and it's kind of bugging me because they didn't really match, so I add my own panel line to the knees there. Figured that bring everything kind of together a little more, well, what's the word? It'll come to me after the video's over and recorded. I'm sure it will. But like on the chest here with this panel line, it comes back around through here, and I just have it simply wrap around the front, across the top, and then back around through here. Oh, and then also on the head, this is supposed to have two antennas, and it was just kind of in the way over here of the cannon, and it was bugging me, and plus it just didn't seem to look right with me for the head. So all I simply did on that was just cut that other antenna off and then sand that down smooth, so it just looks like a nice little typical plate there. And I also, if you can tell, the head turn there, this is bringing a little more definition to the faceplate here. I did some panel line right around here, engraved a line there on the head. So hopefully that'll turn out pretty nice. I think I might paint that a little bit of a two-tone there on the head with these side parts and the part that I engraved there on the front of the face. And originally this guy did not have these kind of hands, and I don't have the actual hands. They had those little weird 3-prong sort of claw hands, and they just were not working for me, so I had to swap those out. But in turn, the gun would not quite fit properly in these new hands that I'm using. But it does have this natural attachment here, which is supposed to actually snap in right here in this little groove you see, like the shield does here on this side. But with the way the hands are, it pushed it too far back and it wouldn't match up right there. So that was a simple little mod. I just sanded off the little lip that's on the inside of that snaps in that groove. I just sanded it smooth, that way it just sits there and rests on the arm and keeps the rifle nice and steady now. Oh, and this thing was a pain to get rid of the seam line on it, because right through here is not so bad, but when it gets down this area, they kind of, panel lines, they tried to hide them as best they could, and it kind of zigzags and layers in through there. So it was a little kind of funny getting that panel line taken care of without having too much excess glue or anything, and not being able to get in some of these areas to sand it down very well. But that ended up coming out very nicely. But I think that's about all I've done for the mods itself on the kit. But let's see, I also am going to be using some photo etch parts as well. You stay right there, please. Now these are your typical, your typical MadWorks photo etch parts, and they were originally real shiny. You know, I'd like a little contrast, but I didn't want it being that much. It's too drastic for me. So I couldn't figure out what to do. I've never messed with photo etch parts before, so I ended up deciding, I had some Tamiya's clear smoke come in, and I just simply sprayed these with that, so it still has a metallic look to it, and I didn't lose any of the detail to them, and they're not so bright and in your face shiny. Here, I forgot to paint this one. I don't know if you can see that on there or not very well. Kind of give you a little bit of a comparison of how different they are, but it kind of gives it more of that titanium look to it than that just that straight up chrome reflective shine to it. But those, see, we got 4 of the small square ones here. These 2 larger squares I'm going to put on the side skirts, just for a little extra add detail, and put this 2 of the square ones here on one each side skirt. And then the other 2 smaller ones are going to go here on the back skirt, right here on these little raised areas. And then here on the backpack for the attachment for the cannon, there's these circular parts right here, and those originally had some detail to them, but I ended up sanding that down smooth so that I can glue these little circular ones there in that place. So I figured that, and then, oh yeah, and also these 4 little bolt pattern looking ones. Alright, get off, let go. And I drilled in the small little 1.5mm holes here on the corner of the shield, and I'm going to inset all those in that area just for a little extra detail on that. But now that we've kind of gone over the details of the kit and some of the other little things I'm going to do with it, kind of go over the colors a little real quick with you. Oh, and I almost did forget, I got them sitting right here. If I can come here, come out. I ordered some water slide decals, so I'm going to be adding these to this as well. And this actually is a pretty nice set here. These are from Simp. I've never tried these, so these will be fun to play with. I've heard good things about their products, so I'm not worried at all, really. Let's go and open this up. But this comes with a set. This set comes with enough for 3 different high grades, and I did not know that really at first. But these up here on this top part are all for this kit here, the Iron Cavalry Guncannon. And see, these are for the Guncannon, the mobility test type slash firepower test type, which I don't have that kit, but I do have this one, the gun tank early type. I'd have that kit in my backlog, so these will be nice to have on hand for that as well. And then of course you got some other random ones you can place here and there wherever you like if you want to use them for this kit or any other kit you might have. So these were a nice pick. I got these off of eBay for I think around 10 bucks, you know, shipped and everything. So this will be fun to add on there. Now as for the colors, I have this right here. I picked this up and haven't used any of it yet. This is chrome silver. This is a Model Master enamel paint. So I'll be using this for the vent holes I drilled into the suit. On the calves and on the chest here, I want to put a piece of tape over the front side here after I paint, tape that off, and then from the back side, paint in the insides of the holes and give it a little bit of detail with nothing, you know, no chrome just straight out blaring at you in the face. So I figured that'd be a really nice addition. It's kind of down in there inside the holes, just a little hidden detail in that. I was going to use some mesh maybe put back behind there, but I didn't have anything around the house to work and I didn't have time to bother with ordering anything. That's what this is going to be used for. And I think the main suit will be pretty simple. I have this medium gray that I haven't tried, or not medium gray, excuse me, medium blue from Tamiya, and I think that'll be a perfect color to match because I'm trying to keep the colors for the most part pretty much like they are out of the kit. So I think this would be a great color to use on that. And then this is that Mission Model, oh that's the white, I grabbed the wrong bottle, but I have Mission Model Gold Gray that I'm going to use, not the white, no, wrong one. But just to maybe tape these off and these little raised details, paint those here on the inside of the leg as well. Maybe a few other parts here and there, just a little contrast color there in between all the blue. And then for the frame, this actually has like a lavender sort of grayish purple color to it. So I don't know how well my mix will work, but I'm going to try using the Tamiya purple and some neutral gray. Mix these both together and maybe they'll come out to the color I'm looking for, and that will be the inner frame of this kit here. Oh, and of course I'll be using that chrome silver on the back of where the visor goes there, the eye shield or whatever you want to call this thing. Don't have that in there for obvious reasons. I'm not going to try and pull that out now if I stick it in there. And then of course for panel line, very simple. I'm just going to go with some gray and black. Pretty easy on that aspect with the blue I'll be using, and then some whites and everything and the grays. So that'll be perfect for panel line on this. And then once of course everything's said and done, I'm going to do a quick video later on to show y'all the end results, and hopefully they turn out as good as I envision them being, but of course you never know. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and pray I don't screw up. But guys, I want to appreciate or thank y'all for coming back and checking out another video on this. And oh, and I haven't forgot about my kit bash. I still got to do some work on it and then get it painted. I just haven't gotten to it yet because there's a deadline on this kit and there's not on the kit bash. So there will be more videos on that to come as well. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of what my plans are for this and what the end results will hopefully look like. And guys, I appreciate y'all stopping by, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like and comment any ideas you might have or what y'all think of this. Y'all take it easy, guys. Later.